what is your take on developing that team culture and having a team that's because I mean some I've seen you go into a tough team and kind of come out of it with like kind of everybody liking you and delivering against things. So it's not always just you seem to have motivated them somehow.
Yeah, that it's the iron fist that you don't see behind the scene. No, no.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, where do I start? I mean, this is like the kind of like the $1 million question, right? Like, I've had people ask me like, is there a sort of like a formula or,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Give us the
no,
magic pill.
yeah, exactly. Blue pill or the red pill? I don't know. I mean, I think first and foremost, I mean, like you've got to, learn about your people, right? Every individual, what drives them, and just as importantly, what demotivates them, and if you're talking about a team, you're looking at sort of the pace of work, maybe. There's got to be, you got to hit a good balance, right, for the team, but you might have to vary it up individually as well, because just sort of like consider where each person is in sort of stages of life. Do they have family responsibilities, right? Are they looking for more of a challenge? Where are the boundaries, and where do you set your expectations? I feel like I always share with each individual what I expect of them, and then I encourage them to let me know as soon as I need to change those expectations. Whether to lessen it or to increase it, because things don't stay the same, right? Um, Another thing I guess I find important is that when we, have people help us do the work that we need to do, we should always be looking for a two-way opportunity, right? We should not just be asking people, well, what can you do for us? But, what can you do to help us get the product out, to do the work that needs to be done, in a way that will in turn help your growth, right? As a developer, whatever level you're at, as a what do you call it, engineer and test, right? QA engineer. Um, and just be ever on the lookout for sort of opportunities where the work is beneficial to both the company and the employee. So I have a lot of people who will say, well, you can't do that all the time, right? But it's not about doing it all the time. It's about doing it as much as we can, and identifying those opportunities as much as we can. But it's no two teams are alike. I mean, like I've like I said, I've been in this industry for over 25 years and managing for really the last 10. And no two teams that I've come across where I'm just like, it's exactly like the last one. I know exactly what to do, right? But as a manager, it's to be super available, whether it's on a personal or professional level. You got to see what the individual wants, what their comfort level is. Some people are more sort of like more professional based, and some people will open up to you. And for us in a time like COVID, I mean, there's so many mental and physical health issues that come into effect, and I think it's just important that we make sure that we're cognizant of what's going on, right? And kind of like watch for signs. And I think if you're lucky enough, like your team trusts you enough to, kind of open up or confide in you. From the work side, I like to encourage and teach, I guess, ownership, right? My managing style has never been to tell a team what to do, right? I socialize the idea, and the requirements, and but I feel like you don't tell them what to do. You let them tell you what they can do and when they can do it by. They're a lot more invested when they're the ones telling you what they can do. It doesn't mean you can't challenge estimates or things like that, but yeah, I don't know, I think get to know your team, cultivate trust, so essential, um and learn about what drives them and where they want to go. How do you get them there and make it interesting and exciting on the way, and it's different for different people. And then I just think on a team, challenging too much kind of shows a lack of trust. Challenging too little kind of leads to complacency sometimes, right? So it's just all about, the big word in my vocabulary is balance. And interestingly enough, that the team, my current team, came out with that as one of the core values. So we knew we were going to get along then, right? So like you do new features and tech debt, right? Like, how do you mitigate user issues? Leading, does an individual want to lead the architecture work for a feature, or do they just want to be an individual contributor for that particular project, right? Working hard, having fun, work life. It's all about balance, right? And because these things are never exclusive of each other. Yeah, I think it's important to use inclusive language, right? It's
Hmm.
our team, right? What we can achieve, what we are planning on doing this sprint. It shows that you're in with the team. You're in it together. You've got their backs, and that's really important. But of course, these are not just words, right? Because when push comes to shove, you better not be selling anything that you're not ready to go to bat for. So yeah,
Yeah.
uh, gotta
Well, that's
be.
where you get some people who lose trust because it's we when it comes to the problems and it's I when it comes to the
Exact
taking a
credit,
credit,
right?
right? So you got to make
Exactly.
sure it goes both way.
Yeah, totally. I always say, as a manager, don't expect credit when things go well, but when things go badly, it's your neck comes the line.